हाय। एंशियंट का रिवीजन करते हैं और इसमें हम तीन चीज़ देखेंगे आज। क्या देखेंगे हम देखेंगे पैलोलिथिक, मेसोलिथिक और नियोलिथिक। इन तीनों फेज को आज हम कंप्लीट करेंगे, इनका कंपैरिजन करेंगे और फिर लास्ट में हम इसके क्वेश्चंस मैं खुद लगाऊंगा, बट यू विल बी एबल टू राइट सम क्वेश्चंस ऑन दीज। ठीक है, आई गिव यू ऑल द ओवरव्यू. So let's start. Like, if you're talking about Paleolithic, we should know that which era we were in. So the era started was Cenozoic era. Cenozoic era was divided into two period. First is tertiary period, and tertiary के बाद क्या आता है? Quaternary period. We don't belong to tertiary period because tertiary periods was so back. ठीक है, let's go to the quaternary period. Quaternary period is further divided into two epoch. That is your Holocene and Pleistocene. I guess Pleistocene and then Holocene. What is Pleistocene? That is an ice age. What is an Holocene? That is a normal, like when we were, you have heard it, like the earth was a cold, was too much cold, there was ice everywhere. That was Pleistocene age. That is simply called ice age. And after that the weather changed, and when weather changed, that happened, that civilization, the ages and everything happened, right? So quaternary period, totally, if I say Cenozoic area, was started 66 million year ago. Indian context 5 lakh year ago. We don't care. Okay, let's go to the quaternary period. It started from 2.6 million year ago. Okay, and 2.6 million year ago it started, and near about 1000 year ago it started the Holocene. ठीक है, तो यहाँ तक तो हो गया. Let's go. Now, definitely we had primates. Primates were before us. Whoever before us was primate. Okay, so how human evolved? See, there was a name. Some names was like Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus. Then comes Neanderthalensis. Then comes Homo sapiens. Everything started from Africa, that you call a cradle of mankind. That's normal. They started with food, they became food, then they tried to make food, they couldn't find any food, they tried to hunt the food, they started gathering, hunting, and so on. Then agriculture comes up, but it's on a later stage. Let's talk about these 4 or 5 primates we have. Australopithecus, it was kind of like ape. Yes, he was bipedal, 2 legs, proto-human you can call it. He has a small brain, 400 centimeter cube, and that is very small. Okay, but it was primate, so we are considering, because I guess there are many more, but we start from Australopithecus, 400 centimeter cube. That is the brain size. Yes. Anything else about it? No. That's more than enough. And definitely, where it will be found? Tell me. Yeah, it will be found in the place where our journey started. That is Africa. Then comes, okay, what was the time period? Time period was near about 5.5 million years ago to 1.5 million years ago. So yeah, there was a big change. 5.5 to 1.5, approx 4, I guess 4 million years. He ruled. Then comes Homo habilis. Homo habilis is an evolved version of Australopithecus. Definitely, he would have handy and skillful man. He now know how to break the stones and make use of it. The brain size should be bigger, so 700, 500 to 700. Then comes Homo habilis was a skillful man or handyman. That was habilis. But then comes erectus. Erectus means the person who erect like this, straight. So yeah, he had a straight backbone. Brain case evolved from 700 to 800, 900 to 1000, approx 1200 we can say. Right. Today we our skull size is between 1200 to 2000 centimeter cube. Okay. So new types of stone tools he made. Hand axe पल्लावरम में मिला था. Okay. Now what do you think? Where I can find them? It could be found everywhere because he was a migratory one. Like migration started from his era, Erectus. So he could go to China, he could go to Africa. He was in Africa, by the way. He could go to Asia, he could go to Southeast, he could go to इधर नहीं गया. क्यों? ऐसा नहीं है. साउथ ईस्ट गोल है ना. हाँ तो इस साइड पे ठीक है. He went everywhere. There's no exceptions, right? There could be exceptions like when you study geography, but yeah, there could be an exceptions. Now comes near about 2.5 million years ago. 2.5 नहीं, 2.5 लाख ईयर ago. आज से 2.5 लाख पहले साल पहले होमो सैपियन है. अभी ये इवॉल्व नहीं है, ठीक है. होमो निएंडरथल है और हम यहीं से इवॉल्व हुए हैं. और जनरली कहते हैं कि ये यूरोप के थे. डजंट मैटर. होमो सैपियंस स्टार्ट करते हैं. हम ही होमो सैपियंस हैं. वी आर होमो सैपियंस. ओके. Okay. Now, how we come to find all these things? So there's something called Archaeological Survey of India. In 1861, 1861, everyone tried to join pieces. Like by Alexander Cunningham, it was started. He was the first Director General. 1871 to 1885. Then Burgess come, then Marshall come, then Hargreaves come. तैराम साहनी भी था 1931 से 1935 तक. प्लाकिस्टन था, दीक्षित था, मॉर्टिमर व्हीलर था. They were there. Okay. Now, if I say in 1982, Arun Sonankya, in 1982, Arun Sonankya found a skull in Narmada Hathanora MP. He called him Narmada Man. Tools were discovered everywhere, but there were some places like in this Ganga Yamuna region, they were not found. Something called Dryopithecus. Dryopithecus is a forerunner of gorilla and chimpanzee. Okay. Now we'll start like a little bit about prehistory. Robert Brucewood, he founded or he discovered. See, there is a difference between discover and found. Discover is something was already been founded, but you just discovered it. Found means there was a first time you're founding it. So the CEOs are the founders. They do not discover. So Robert Brucewood discovered first Paleolithic tool in India in 1863, where at Pallavaram, क्या था वो hand axe. You had hand axe, right? Great. And there's many sites he discovered also. A small chert arrowhead was found on Lee, Mesurier. So on the basis of types of the stone, we divided era, Stone Age, Indian Stone Age into three parts. Old Stone Age, that is Paleolithic, middle or late Mesolithic, new stone is Neolithic. And we're gonna study all these three. Now time period, how it is distributed, like 5 lakh Indian context, 5 lakh to 10,000, 10,000 to 6,000, 6,000 to 1,000. Correct. Let's start with Paleolithic age. Okay. Paleolithic age. Which era it should belong to? Sana check era. Which era is done? Age, quaternary, epoch, Holocene or Pleistocene? Pleistocene. Definitely. So in Pleistocene, that is called an ice age, we had Paleolithic age. Paleolithic means old. Paleo means old, definitely. It's been old. If it means old, everything was discovered except in this Ganga Yamuna. Reasons, that is fine. Why we made stone? For hunting, cutting, boring. Yes. Now, what was the major characteristics of Paleolithic ages? Okay. They lived in band society. A small camp. A small, approx 30, less than 30 or 30. Open air, river, valleys, caves, all that. Gathering and hunting was the only activities. No knowledge of agriculture, house building, pottery, any metal, do not know. They had knowledge of fire. And if you say Paleolithic, yes, in upper Paleolithic, because Paleolithic is also divided into three, lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic. Yes, in Paleolithic they had the knowledge of painting, but definitely in the upper Paleolithic way. Now, why am I saying Paleolithic and all that? Let's talk about Paleolithic first. They use stones made up of quartzite. Okay. And there was something called core and flake tools were used. Core is something main part. Flake is which has detached from the main part. That is flake. Sites, if I say Chota Nagpur Plateau, side है. In Kurnool district in Andhra Pradesh, where I can't find all these Paleolithic sites. First is alluvial plain of Indus and Ganga. Okay. Second is southern Tamil Nadu. Or third is hilly area of Western Ghat. These three are very important. Southern Tamil Nadu is too much in southern, so human cannot go like that. There, no way. Hilly areas is too much high. No instruments, nothing. There was no reason to go upward because no animals, nothing. Yeah, correct. According to my assumptions. So these three were the exceptions for the Paleolithic sites. Now Edward Latet was a person who divided this Paleolithic phase into three parts: Upper Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic, and Lower Paleolithic. Oh, my bad. Lower Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic, Upper Paleolithic. Lower will become lower. Okay. Now, how am I gonna say? Because I have to finish it in 10,000, like 5 lakh to 10,000, 10,000 to 6,000, 6,000 to 1,000. So, lower Paleolithic was 5,000 to 1 lakh, 5 lakh to 1 lakh 40, 1 lakh 4, 1 lakh 4 to 40, 42 lakh. Yeah, that's a correct distribution of the ages. Now, if I see the distribution, let's go to the lower Paleolithic age. Definitely the period is 5 lakh to 1 lakh 40 or 1 lakh 4. BCE is definitely we will use BCE. What type of instruments or tools they were using? Hand axe, choppers, clavers. Simple. Stone tools were rough and heavy. Yeah, they should be heavy. Okay. And core tool was quartzite. Homo habilis, Homo erectus was a part. Homo sapiens अभी नहीं आएगा. Homo habilis, Homo erectus आ सकते हैं. Okay, there were discovery of fire was also happened in lower Paleolithic age, so they knew the use of fire. Where you can find all these sites? This is a question. Okay, I'll resolve your question. Bori, Maharashtra. Maharashtra में नेवासा, महाराष्ट्र में पटने, where ostrich eggshell was found. Hunsgi, Karnataka. Pahalgam, Kashmir. Thar Desert in Rajasthan. Tidwana in Rajasthan. Hiran Valley, Gujarat. Belan Valley, Mirzapur, UP. Narmada, yeah, valleys of Narmada. And in Tamil Nadu, Ataripakkam, Pallavaram और बदमदुराई. भोपाल में तो भीमबेट का सबको पता है. So we finished with the lower Paleolithic era, where I can say 5 lakh to 1 lakh 40,000 BCE is done. It was basic. Knowledge of fire was there. Okay. Yeah. Knowledge of fire, quartzite, heavy metal जो कह रहा हूँ. Stones were used. Metal was not introduced till Mesolithic, or I can say Neolithic. It comes to middle Paleolithic age. Definitely 1 lakh 40 to 40,000. S.D. Sankalia in 1960, he gave the name Nevasan industry because he founded the Nevasa. Tools were now flakes, not core anymore. Means core were also used, but flakes comes into the picture. Initially flakes were thrown out. Here the flakes we are using like scrappers, वहाँ cleavers था, यहाँ scrappers है, borers है, burin, blades. Size, if we talk about the size was smaller, and there was a decrease in the use of hand axe because other tools were used more. If we talk about the biological changes, Homo habilis, Homo erectus. Now here the Homo erectus become more. Forelimbs are free now, more convenient. And now there was a time of at the end of this middle Paleolithic, there was a cognitive revolution. Was that means they were trying to communicate. They started to the communication. We don't know anything about it, but we know that there should be some communication. site, if I say Nivasa, found by S.D. Sankalia, 1960. पोटवार प्लेट्यू इंदस एंड झेलम के बीच में है. संघाव केव पाकिस्तान में, पेशावर में. और सोन, नर्मदा, तुंगभद्रा रिवर वैलीज में आपको ये सारी चीज मिल जाएंगी. दैट वाज प्रीटी नाइस. And if we talked about the cognition revolution, they were able to communicate somehow. So the oldest language, if we say talk about, is Austroasiatic. Then comes Tibeto-Burman on the Tibet side, on the Himalayan belt. Then comes Dravidian, South India, नीचे की साइड पे. इंडो आर्यन, सेंट्रल ईस्ट, सेंट्रल एशिया, स्टेपीज से आया है. ये चार है, पर वहाँ पर ऑस्ट्रो एसेटिक और तिब्बतो बर्मन वर द ओल्डेस्ट वन. दैट्स ऑल यू हैव टू नो, नथिंग मोर. ओके. Rock painting is found in Bhimbetka, 1957 by Wakankar. But initially, if I say first time, by Archibald Campbell was a person. Now we talk about upper Paleolithic phase. So 5 lakh to 140, 140 to 40. Now here comes 40 to 10,000. And it's gonna end here. What is upper? Upper Paleolithic period or phase, if you say, is advanced more than, because definitely it's gonna be in upper. The climate has started to become, because I told you, right, 10,000, yeah, exactly 10,000, there was a Holocene comes in that picture. So there is a change in the graph of temperature, of climate. Now flint industries started, modern men come into the picture, Homo sapiens. Quartz, more innovations happened. Bone tools started. Parallel side blades became the ruler. Kurnool, Muchatala, Chintamani Gavi, Andhra Pradesh, you found the bone tool there. Ostrich axles, stone beads, Andhra Pradesh, Patna, Maharashtra. Means ostrich inhabited India near about 25,000 years ago. That was a very. So we had the ostrich. Now where is an ostrich? Australia. Paintings, I told you, right, there was a cultural change also. The paintings comes in the picture, linear representation, green and dark red hues, animal figures, stick like humans. Green color dancers, red color hunters. Sites, if I talk about, the Bhimbetka, Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh, animal teeth were used as an ornaments. Lohanda, Nala, female figures, harpoon. Patne, ostrich eggshell, beads. Bagor, triangular stones. Yes, about the triangular stones, like Kol and Baiga tribes, there is a tribe. They still worship them as a god. So female goddesses they consider. So definitely it should be a mark or something they worshipped. Then Lakudiyar, this is the most recent one. Dancing human figures, stick like human figures. भीमबेटका से भी जो भी recent खोज हुए हैं वो है लकुदिया. Okay. Oh. I can't go there, but the bed sheet can come here. Just give me a second. Now let's do one thing. Differentiate between upper Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, and lower Paleolithic. Now, let's summarize them. Okay. So now lower Paleolithic was 2.6 million ago to 40, middle 40 to 10, sorry, 1.4, 1.4 to 40, and 40 to 10. लोअर पैलेथिक हैबिलस इरेक्टस, मिडिल में कौन आ जाएगा निएंडरथल और होमोसेपियंस, एंड अपर में मॉडर्न में. Tools, if I talk about in lower Paleolithic, was Acheulean. In middle Paleolithic, it's Mousterian, and in upper Paleolithic, blades and bone tools. Culture in lower is basic survival oriented, middle में some rituals, and upper में art, language, culture it comes. File use in lower was emerging, middle regular, in upper Paleolithic they mastered it. Yeah, that's all the difference between Paleolithic, Mesolithic, sorry, Paleolithic in lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic. Now let's talk about Mesolithic period, and then will come कौन सा आएगा? Then will come the Neolithic. Neolithic site is too big. It will take some time to explain. But yeah, I'm gonna make this one so that there will be nothing will be left. Okay. Let's talk about Mesolithic. So Mesolithic ना actually ये transition है किसके बीच में? Paleolithic और Neolithic के बीच में. अब डायरेक्ट हम ऐसे ना ले जाते, हम डायरेक्ट ऐसे करके नहीं ले आते, हम ऐसे करके ले गए. सो इसका बस यही है कि एवरीथिंग इन द न्योलिथिक का थोड़ा सा बेसिक फीचर यहाँ आ जाता है. तो यहाँ से हमें ये भी पता चलता है कि न्योलिथिक एज में क्या क्या आने वाला है. ओके, सो it's definitely it's gonna be warm and dry because Holocene started from 10,000 and it's 10,000. Okay. 10,000 to 6,000 it's gonna go. ठीक है. Now the tools was microliths. Microliths, the miniature stone tools, 1 centimeter to 5 centimeter size. Silica stone, चाल की डोनी, they started. Shapes were blade and all. छोड़ दो. Paintings, yes, there was a painting. Behavioral and social and cultural modernity in Homo sapiens comes into the picture. Visual representation was there, यानी rock art. ठीक है. Animals dominated the scene. It means there were more animals. Many birds and human beings are painted. Snakes were not depicted at the time. Okay, I think there was still a fear of snakes. Okay. In 1867, the first rock painting was discovered at Sohagi Ghat, Camur Hill, MP, by Archibald Carlyle. 12 years before the discovery of Altamira in Spain, which is the oldest rock painting of the world. Before that, we have found that one. Okay. Now, over 150 Mesolithic rock art sites were found. Some are Bhimbetka caves by V.S. Vakankar in 1957. Okay, Jogimara, Kharwar, Jaora, Kathotia, लाखाजवार एमपी में है. सुंदरगढ़ संभलपुर उड़ीसा, एजुतु गुहा केरला, लकुदियार उत्तराखंड, कुप्पगुल्लू तेलंगाना, पिकलीहल तेल्लाकोटा कर्नाटका, सिगनानौर रायगढ़ एमपी, मिर्जापुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट. बट सम इम्पॉर्टेंट मेसोलिथिक साइट्स आर, बताता हूँ कौन कौन सी हैं. ठीक है. Bagor. Bagor is the largest and best domesticated, documented Mesolithic site. The word domestication was there, sheep, goats, and cattle. There was no evidence of horse. There was still one in Indus Valley civilization was Surkotra, but we are not talking here. Next is Adamgarh. It's an MP. So Adamgarh was also famous for domestication of animals. It provides the earliest evidence. Mahada, bone artifacts, arrowhead, burial, man and woman together. So it's a Mahada. Mahada is found in UP. Great. Next is Langnaj, Mehsana, Gujarat, Mirzapur. Pottery. Pottery was absent in Mesolithic, but it is present in both these sites. How? Why? We're gonna talk. A little bit pottery started, not much, but yeah, normal. Chota Nagpur, Central India, south of River Krishna. Yeah, we had many. Cultivation of plants started. Rajasthan, we can find Salt Lake, Sambar Lake. Okay, so culture also continued. Petroglyph was found, removing the rock part surface by carving, picking, incising. ठीक है, पिक्टोग्राफ एंड अर्थ फिगर्स होते हैं. सबको पता है रॉक पॉन्टिंग की फर्स्ट डिस्कवरी हुई थी आर्किबाल्ड कैरोलाइल, जिसने स्पेन की सबसे पुरानी अल्टमीरा जो रॉक सबसे पुरानी है उससे पहले 12 साल पहले आर्किबाल्ड कैरोलाइल ने किया था. वाकंगर ने पिम्पेट का किया था. ये पता होना चाहिए. Now we started. What we have started? We're gonna start the Neolithic side. But before starting Neolithic side, let's differentiate again between lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic sites. Mesolithic, you don't need to worry. Mesolithic is kind of like whatever we're gonna study in the Neolithic age. You can say it started in Mesolithic. Okay, so in lower, middle, and upper, I'll say like this: core tools, hand axe cleavers, quartzite stones, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, hair, levallois, discoids. Modern man came into the picture. Hair, flintstone, fire, fully mastered, discovered, used, mastered. Sites, if we talk about Bori, Maharashtra, Honski, Karnataka, Islampur, Hathnora, MP. Here, pointing scrapers, cognitive revolution, language, Austroasiatic, Tibeto-Burmese, Nevasa, Luni. Here, blade, purine, cultural modernity, art painting, ostrich excel, bone tool, Kurnool, Muchatala, Chintamani Gavi, Bhagor, triangular stone were found, religious importance. All this happened. So yeah, that's how it differentiated between there. Lower Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic, and Upper Paleolithic. Now we're going to talk about Neolithic period. And let's go to the era. Just imagine you're in a Neolithic age and you just came from a Paleolithic age. Mesolithic, don't consider it. Now, you are what? Homo sapiens. You're still a man here, just like us. We are more developed. As we are growing, we are developed, right? But this Neolithic age is not much older. It's near about 6,000. At 6,000 BCE, we started. It's 2,000 more, right? In 8,000 difference. Okay? Let me ask a question. How many years happened from 6,000 BCE to 2025 now? 8,024. ठीक है, एक कम हो जाता है, 180 आता है ना वहाँ से. ठीक है, सो 8,000 साल की बात है. तो 8,000 साल में हम ज़्यादा इवॉल्व नहीं हुए. 8,000 साल is not much age. to evolve. 100 साल है हमारी. मैक्सिमम. मिनिमम तो फिर मत ही बोलो. ठीक है. बट अभी हम पहुंच चुके हैं. तो लेट्स जंप. आई एम इन न्योलिथिक पीरियड. अब क्या होगा? मैं देख रहा हूँ अपने चारों ओर कि यार एग्रीकल्चर हो रहा है. तो दिस इज बिगनिंग ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर. एग्रीकल्चर एक्चुअली यहाँ नहीं हुआ था. इंडियन में तो इंडियन फेज में, हाँ इंडियन फेज में एग्रीकल्चर हो गया था, ये आसपास का जो एशिया है. बट देखा जाए तो सीरिया में स्टार्ट हो गया था बहुत पहले. टेल कोरामिल नॉर्दर्न सीरिया में स्टार्ट हो चुका था. अब मैंने टूल्स भी चेक किए भाई. टूल्स भी स्पेशलाइज टूल थे. मैं पॉलिश स्टोन एक्सेस का यूज करने लग गया था. ओके. गॉर्डन चिल्डे, he said this Neolithic phase is a Neolithic revolution because it introduced a lot of things which changed our economic life, socio-economic life, and also affected the human life. And if I say who was the earliest farmers, don't go to the Mesolithic, go to the Neolithic. And the beginning of agriculture and animal domestication started in this Neolithic age. Sharp polished tools, fruit and crops, domesticated cattle, everything happened here. Now the band society. Band society is a society which comprises of less than 30 people. Now it becomes a tribe. And yeah, tribe has a lot of importance. What about the stones tool? Let's go to the blacksmith. Hey buddy, what was the innovation and what was happened? What changed you found? Then what he replied is that we innovated the production of stone tools. Polished stones, packed. Okay, polished stones, quartzite, made up of quartzite. But quartzite was also used in lower Paleolithic. Yes, but we now depended on polished stone rather than quartzite. Okay. Use of cells we use for ground and polished sandstone. Okay. Bone objects we are using like needles, scrapers, borers, arrowhead, pendants, bangles, earrings also been found. Wow. Yes. And polished tools, it made the human life easier to cultivate, to hunt, to perform any other activities better. That was not made what you're thinking. Houses were made of mud and wood. Because, yeah, we had a tribe now, so we have to stay at the same place. Now, to stay on the same place, we need a house made of mud and wood. If we go to the Mesolithic period, domestication of animals and men used to do huntings in herds. Correct. Women mostly cooking and food gathering, observing nature. So we can say the Neolithic age was matriarchal society. Yeah, because the main thing was agriculture and domestication, which was done by women. So they should have the honor to take decisions. क्योंकि गाय अगर एक बार किसी को दूध दे देना तो उसके अलावा फिर उसको दूध कोई और नहीं निकाल सकता. हाँ, ऐसा ही जानवर भी है. जानवर एक बार और मैक्सिमम फीमेल्स हैव द चांस, had the opportunity to do all the household works, and that was the opportunity. Now it's a work of a maid. They Ask them. They were so happy that they were so proud that they are working the household work. Now it's totally different. And men's were like they were holding hand axe, big swords, 4 kilo, 10 kilo swords. They're swinging like nothing. And today we are doing dumbbell like 10 kg. Oh, 4 sets. Man, the whole day is done. What? 2.5 किलो के लोग मार रहे हैं, ऐसे कर रहे हैं, तेरे हाँ थक गया 5 किलो में. I think I have done a lot more. What the hell, man? They had stone tools. They had कवच जो होता है आगे अगर तुम पढ़ोगे उसमें मेडिवल में, you'll be shocked. जितने किलो के तुम हो उतना को लगता तो वो भारी पहन के चलते हैं पूरे दिन भर. हाउ? देख तेरे इंसान की हालत क्या हो गई भगवान, कितना बदल गया इंसान. Okay, let's not go there. Let's come back. Now, if you say agriculture practice was figured out by the women, so pottery comes up. Now, polished tools, what was our advantage? Why we are not using the quartzite? So, even cutting edge we had, superior strength we had, better handling we had, pleasing to eyes we had. You're looking good. Pottery comes in the picture, handmade pottery and black burnished ware, grey ware, matte impressed ware. You know, black burnished, grey ware, matte impressed ware. 3 type of pottery. OCP I cannot find it right. OCP is not found yet. I cannot see any OCP here. Ochre color pottery. Only 3 pottery: black burnished, grey ware, matte impressed. Settlement, if we say village communities, settled life, sedentary becomes circular and rectangular houses were there made of mud and reed. Reed was there taken. And boats, they owned property in common. Mehergarh, Neolithic people were more advanced. Why? In Mehergarh we found the evidence of wheat, barley, cotton, pit dwelling, double burial system. Labor was divided based on sex and age. Now here it is divided into caste. Women's matriarchal society. Yeah. So this is wheat, barley, sheep, goats, cattle. Where? Mehergarh. Rice, Koldeva. Rice, Mehergarh. Mahagra. Wheat and lentil, Gufral. A lot of places. Tribe. What is tribe? Why it is tribe? Oh man. The majority of families are now connected and they had a group more than 30. Fishing, farming, herding, hunting, gathering, they were involved. Animals, both men and women were responsible. Cleaning up might be go for men, but I cannot say that women were the only person who was doing this. But most of the thing was done by women. That's why it was matriarchal society. Yes. They had their own deities. Older women had more value because of experience and wisdom. Yeah. Now, if you see the Neolithic excavated sites, so it was divided into 3 parts based on the types of axis. Okay, let's go to the northwestern. If you're saying northwestern, it means north, north, western. So this area, if we say, so wait, okay. So we are talking about the northwest side. So first, Kashmir. Kashmir, we had Burj Home and Gufkaral. Jaha. Okay. Burjahom and Gufkaral were root sites. If you talk about uh, dwelling pits, okay, let's talk about Burjahom. Burjahom, people lived in pits. Rectangular chopper. The choppers was rectangular. They had the knowledge of agriculture. Grey pottery. Dog was buried with their malik. Yes. And bone tools were there. Tools were made of antlers and deers. This is called Misri. In Pahadi it is called Katak. Thank you. Guf Karal. Pit dwelling stone tools. Graveyard in houses. That is very important. Guf Karal. It is the near Srinagar. Okay. So Kashmir, we had these two sites. Also we had Mehergarh. If we locate the Mehergarh, let me locate it somehow. Okay. Mehergarh was located on the west side and in Pakistan. Yeah, we know in Pakistan. Man, how do you know why we were locating? Sorry, my mistake. Burjahom Gufkaral on the Srinagar side, Jammu Kashmir, and Mehergarh comes to Pakistan, but it will come in the northwest. Why? Because they had a rectangular shaped axis, so we divided into three parts. So we are talking about northwest. Okay. In Mehergarh, it's Balochistan Mehergarh है, largest settlement. Sun-dried bricks were there. Wheat, barley, cotton was sample. Earliest example of dentistry, man, drilling of human tooth was a big proto-dentistry was found. Flood happened there, domestication were there, cereals were there, mud bricks were there, potter wheels were also there. And they signified, and there was a significance of them, they were moving to Harappan civilization. We are gonna come to that point also. Many archaeologists discovered wild animals, deer, pig, sheep and goats, bones for cattle, square and rectangular homes, 4 compartments in each home, burial with graves indicating that they believed in life after death. Burial is of two types, primary burial and secondary burial. Primary is normal, secondary bones and all. Secondary is divided into two parts. They could be fragmented or urn burial. ठीक है, अर्न बरियल बोले तो चूरा उरा थैले में बांध के, और फ्रेगमेंटरी मतलब कुछ टूट गया और तोड़ ताड़ गया, पर जानवर उनके साथ थे, ये हमें बताते हैं. बुर्जोम से हमें पता लगता है डॉग बरियल कुछ मास्टर. ठीक है. Now northwestern is done. If northwestern is done, here comes the northeast. Definitely we need a northeast. And northeast we have we have Koldiva, Chirand, Koldiva, Chirand, Mahagra, Daujili, Hedling. ये sites हैं. Here is polished stone was rectangular, but they had shoulder screws. ठीक है. Dowsley Hedling was the first. There was a nearby Brahmaputra river valley. It leads to China and Myanmar. So we can see there were some tools which were not found in the India, not in the Indian region. It was brought by China or Myanmar region. So Dowsley Hedling was a part. Okay, that's jadeite stone imported from China. So what it shows there was some trade. Earliest rise Koldiva and Mahagara in Allahabad, Belan Valley, Taradia sites, both Gaya. Okay, now comes the southern group. Southern group is a distinguished by axis with oval sides and pointed buds. Ash mounds found साउथ ऑफ गोदावरी. गोदावरी के नीचे वाला पार्ट पूरा सदर्न ग्रुप में आ जाता है. ठीक है. स्टोन एक्सिस, स्टोन ब्लेड्स कुछ साइड्स हैं, जैसे कि तमिलनाडु में है पय्यमपल्ली, आंध्र प्रदेश उतनौर, नागार्जुन कोंडा, कर्नाटक में धर्मगिरी, कोपागी, तल्लीकोटा, कोकेडल, संगनकल्लू, ती नरसीपुर. न्यूलिथिक साइट्स में कैटल हर्डर्स आगे, डंक्स हो गए, इधर हो गए. और एंटायर कैंपिंग ऐश माउंट्स मिले, पूरी कैंपिंग को आग लगा दी. ठीक है. साइड देख लो, मास्की, ब्रह्मगिरी, पिकलेहल, तल्लेगोडा, बूढ़ीहल कर्नाटक में है. ठीक है. कंक्लूजन क्या है? स्टोन एज का एक लिमिटेशन था, ये टोटली स्टोन एज पे ही बने हुए थे. हिली एरिया से दूर हमें कोई भी वो नहीं मिला सेटलमेंट्स, और बेयर सबसिस्टेंस पर ही इनका हमेशा से चलता रहा. ओके, एक मिनट, चालकोलिथिक. सो Neolithic is done, right? So if I differentiate all, देखो अब मैं तीनों को differentiate कर देता हूँ. इतना Neolithic में will be starting at Chalcolithic age. What is Chalcolithic age? Where the copper comes into the picture. $5 lakh to 10,000, 10,000 to 6,000, 6,000 to 1,000. Old Stone Age, Middle Stone Age, and New Stone Age. That is easy. Let's talk about ages of hunters and gatherers, hunters and herders, food producers. No more hunting. I can't say, because hunting तो still होती है ना. Hunting still, but they are basically the ages of food producer. The Neolithic. Food gathering, hunting, fishing, pre-agricultural times, agriculture, livestock rearing, complement in hunting and gathering all happened in the Neolithic sites. I'm differentiating तीन, ठीक है, ध्यान से सुनना. Rough stone tools were rough, crude, big, unpolished. Now they improvised it. Microliths come to the picture. Now they improvised it and polished back to stone tools. Celts, needles, scrapers were there. Yes. If you say nomadic existence, they had to leave the place. Then it was a transition stage. Now we have settled existence. Tribes, bands, mixture. Shelter, open, center, caves, rock shelters, semi-permanent, temporary settlements. Now the permanent we have. Thatched huts. Art and craft, small, some paintings were there. Good evidences were there. Pottery, wood, shelter and tombs. Knowledge of agriculture, nah. Knowledge of domestication, nah. House building, nah. Pottery, nah. Later stages, fire was there, knowledge, but nah. Controlled fire, animals tame, cultivation, pottery, nah. Hair, agriculture, domestication, animal, pottery, some metals, not copper yet. They didn't know the name. If I said zinc, did they know? Language, no. A little bit. Developed. That's all the difference we wanted. Okay. So here, this is finished. Okay. मैंने तुम्हें तीनों बता दिए. Paleolithic, mesolithic and Neolithic. तीनों sites you know everything properly. Now the next is We're gonna study the Chalcolithic. It's a transition phase, definitely. It's gonna be between Paleolithic, means that Stone Age to Metal Age. Because in this early civilization, and after that 1000 we have Iron Age. So it's gonna be a normal existence, a settled permanent existence to a civilization. It's gonna be very fun. So see ya in the next topic. Yeah, bye.